Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome to another live where we're cultivating more love and join our lives through what we're selecting for our realities. I'm going to move this camera back a little bit because I didn't realize how close in it was. Oh, I see why. My tripod, I have rotated the feet. Usually that's better. Hi, beautiful beings. So, what I really am inspired to talk about today, and I already posted about it, is the ego. So the ego, a lot of people bully the ego like, oh, my ego is going crazy. The ego is just a focusing device. Ego, in Latin, ego, I, right? It's your I, your singular point. You are allness. You decide to experience being one perspective. So you're so zoomed in on the one perspective, you forgot that there's allness. So when you zoom back and you remember that there's so many different options, way to respond, ways to think, you get to steer the ego, right? The ego is not operating independently of you. It's just honestly operating on autopilot right now. So now pull back, remember who you are as the selector, and then just direct the ego, right? I like to do a little wordplay and say, ego is where the energy goes, right? E, energy, goes. It's cute. So, hey Justin. Hey Amber. So, ego, where the energy goes. Direct your consciousness. Remember who the heck you are. And let yourself feel that prosperity, the options, all that jazz that's available to you. If you're so honed in on like, this is what's happening, zoom out, zoom out. Your reality is not operating independently of you. It is, you are in alignment with it. So if you want to shift the reality you're perceiving of, you shift your inner alignment. Hi, Elisa. So, whatever you desire to experience, remember it already exists in existence. You received a desire for it because it exists, right? It dropped into your head. You get to appreciate that fully and be like, yes, we have this. Yes, we're together. Yes, I have that career. Yes, I am this person. Yes, I have that award, whatever it is. And then you go about your life knowing, yep, that's what's coming for me. That's what I'm experiencing. I am that person. Also, something I really like to do that I don't know that anyone has really talked about, but I really like skill development. So let's say that you see yourself singing on stages, right? But right now you're feeling nervous. Well, you don't have to sing in front of 20,000 people to start with. So what's the next step for you where you are currently? Oh, I'm going to go sing at an open mic. Oh, I'm going to go sing on a live stream. Oh, I'm going to just post one post. So it's like whatever cultivation aspect you actually are doing for your person, all of it is part of you being that person, right? The person who sings on the stage for 20,000 people is also the person who started in smaller rooms, likely. Unless you just jump right to 20K, which you could. But if you're noticing resistance or some idea, explore yourself a little bit. Put yourself on stage in a room that feels a little safer, right? Hi, Snea. Welcome, babe. It's a good day. It's a good time to be alive, right? So, ego, just the focusing device, not a villain, not an enemy, not something you have to destroy, just something that you get to steer. Your ego gets to benefit you. Your ego is your I. What singular experience do you desire to have? And then you give that job to the ego, and it's going to run on autopilot with it. It's just running on autopilot from old stuff. It's not its fault. It's not to be blamed. It's not to be yelled at. Like, oh, that bastard ego. It's like, no, come on. Like, just steer. Change your mind in a very literal sense of like, if I shift what I focus on, if I change the direction of my thoughts, ego equals Rosemary. Yes and no. So I would say that the ego would go beyond Rosemary because there's infinite versions of Rosemary, right? So it would have to be the one singular perspective specific of Rosemary in an environment, and that might not even be defined as Rosemary. I think it would just be the I that I am in the moment, right? The awareness I am in the moment. Also, Rosemary is one word. It says so right up there. See? Ego saying, hey, spell my name right. Hi, Lane. How to help with intrusive thoughts and OCD thoughts. Disidentify with having it. Recognize a thought popping in is just like, let it go. And then it auto-corrected again to with a Y. Anyway, so hold on, let me finish answering this question. You select and perpetuate your chosen thoughts. When a story comes up of like, oh, I have this, I am this, this is why I'm having it, disidentify with that story because that's putting you down the shortcut pathway of those neural pathways, right? Pull back and be like, okay, I'm going to redefine this. What am I saying? Oh, I have like random ass thoughts coming up. Cool. Pause. Breathe. Witness yourself. Witness that it's just a thought, right? It is just a thought popping up, occurring to you. And it doesn't mean anything. It's not making that be your reality. It's just a suggestion. Infinite iterations of reality exist. Really what it comes down to is there's a fear there. There's a fear there. It could be the fear that I am not powerful. It could be the fear that what if this happens, which comes down to what if this happens and I can't handle it, which comes down to if you're like a power thing. What if I die, which again comes down to a fear, a power thing. So if you're able to actually just witness the thought come in and observe it instead of making a meaning to it, what does that thought actually mean? Well, it means nothing. It's just a suggestion. It's like a, hey, this exists in existence. Do you desire to experience it? Nope, I don't. Cool. So collapse that in your mind and being into, well, that's not what happens. Sometimes with clients or students, I also like to play the game of like, okay, let's play the game. What would happen if that did come to pass? What would happen? Well, I guess okay, well, then what? Well, I guess that would be it. Okay, then what? Well, I guess consciousness would just like open its eyes elsewhere, in which case I would just choose to be in a timeline where that didn't happen anyway. So I guess it doesn't matter. Think your way out of it, right? Like not in a thought spiral kind of way, but in like there's a door there. Causes anxiety and I'm so scared it's in my awareness. Right, because you're afraid of it. So who's the one that's afraid? Right, because it's not the allness that you are. It's not the one that knows to select. It's not the one that like knows your ability. If something unpreferred comes up, you just select the thing that you prefer. And then you're like, nope, that's not what's happening. This is actually what's happening. You can redefine it at any moment. Why is it easier to manifest my career / money than about love or my SP, or it's my limiting belief? It's just what you've been taught, right? So take that ease and say, it's as easy for me to manifest love and SP as it is for me to manifest money and career. And then observe the stories that you have around manifesting love or SP, right? Because where did that come from? Oh, well, like, growing up watching Cinderella or other things, I saw love to be this. So growing up seeing your parents, you defined love to be a certain thing. Growing up being told that something is happening in this way, right? Growing up being told that, like, oh, well, if they do or don't do this, then it means that, and then believing it. It's just a collection of stories. So right now you're telling the story that the other thing is easier, so you perceive that. You're telling the story that this thing is hard in some way, so you're perceiving that. So start telling the story that it's actually really easy for you. You know exactly what to do, and you always do it correctly. And persist in that story, and it hardens into fact. It becomes your truth, your lived experience. Just finished my exams, and I affirmed I can score 95 above without studying effortlessly, but I got one of my exam marks today, which is low. How to change it immediately? Just revise. Stay in your story. Like, can you be clear with yourself about where you were projecting into, I hope this works. If this doesn't work, I'm fucked. Where were you actually in your end state, right? You can see where you were by the result you've been shown, and then you can just adjust it, being like, nah, I got this. Actually, they graded it wrong. I know I got a 95. Just broke no contact because I'm confident he'll ask me out again. Okay. Congrats. Your voice is so soothing. I'm glad. Yeah, you change it immediately by saying, like, nope, this is what it is. Nope, this is what it is. Yeah, my pleasure, babe. Something I wish is people would stop throwing around the term, like, limiting belief. It's my limiting belief. It's a limited belief. It's a belief that limits you to a certain story. All beliefs do that, though. But it just might be like the limit of your story is I can get anything that I want. Right? I've talked about this before, like limits in mathematics on a graph, right? It just shows how the shape is. Oh my God, girl, it clicked. Universe is loyal and literal. No matter what you want, good or bad, it's yours. Yes, baby. It loves you so much. Well, it follows your orders so much. It's just like, yes, I'm here to do whatever you say. If we're all part of the one, then how do we explain different quirks and personalities? Because everything exists in existence. So consciousness, source consciousness, is playing every single role and every variety and iteration of that role. So they all have to exist and be accounted for, since all exists, right? It's not saying all is one singular thing, like some guy named Mark who only eats purple crayons. I don't know where that came from, right? Nope, that's just the one, and everyone is Mark and eats purple crayons and only listens to lo-fi music on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That's it. That's the one. That's not what it's saying. It's saying everything in existence ever exists, is of source consciousness, is of energy, and everything is accounted for. So you, as the all is one, came into a specific witnessing of personality and quirk, and then you get to shift and decide something else. Not a parental love, it's devoted ride or die love. It will bend over backwards to prove you right. Yeah, it just warps because you're selecting. That's just consciousness. Why does praying to God... Hold on. Why does praying to God for others work for some but not all? Well, let's pull back. Because it's what you assume. So if someone has assumed, meaning to take on, if someone has taken on the story that this will work for them, then it will work for them. If someone has assumed that affirmations work for them, then it will work for them. If someone assumes that spinning in a circle works for them, then it will work for them. It's just assumption. It's not like God is a separate entity. As we know, I'm not religious because a religion would be limiting. I would have to not know all the things I know in order to be in that kind of organization. It's just what you perceive of. So some people pray to Jesus, know that it worked for them, and that's it. But it's still the consciousness that you are selecting that it worked, right? Detachment means detachment from how it's going to happen. Detachment also means detachment from the idea that it's not happening. You know, what are you detached from? You can be detached from anything. Some people misinterpret that and say, I have to be detached from my desire. Like, I have to, like, not want it anymore. And that's, like, not... You get things you want all the time. Also, infinite iterations exist. So there's the one where you're so obsessed with it and you get it anyway. There's the one where you don't care and you get it. And everything in between and on the other side. Yesterday's live. Hold on, wait. Skip that. Oh, right, because that came up first. I said, SP blocked me and I'm affirming that he's obsessed and blowing my phone up. Just nervous because he was so mad right before he blocked me. It's just you, dude. It's only just you playing games with yourself. So you created this story to experience. What did it bring up? Your fear. Your fear that something that you do could make you be unloved. Address that. Remember that you're loved no matter what. Shift within. This is not an external issue. They're just projecting what you were aligned with, who you were being. Detaching from the job of how and when it gets done. You just want it and trust that you'll get it. Yeah. Yesterday's live really helped me. You said stop the suffering identity, and I think it's all clicked now. I think it's hard to believe sometimes, especially with traumatic experiences. That's just from the identity of the experience. So in saying it's hard to believe, you pull back and witness that everything exists, right? When I had like all the experiences I had that were traumatic, like when I was in the identity of it and believing it, yeah, sure. But zoom out, look around. Oh, there's all these other things. Okay, cool. When did it finally click for you? When my spine wasn't working very well. I had some stuff happen back here and various things and nerve damage and muscles tearing and other shit. I'd been in pain for like 4 years and that was my identity. And then like one day I was laying in silence and I noticed that I was holding my body really, really tense. So I did a progressive muscle relaxation meditation. I decided to breathe and relax my body until I was relaxed. When I relaxed my body, my pain went down and I was able to be up for a few minutes. But then in standing, I remember I was standing by my window and a thought came in that was like, I'm in so much pain and I hate my life. Even though in that moment I'd been feeling like so much better. That thought came in and immediately my body tensed up. It was like a rubber band like snapped and it was like, my body was in more pain than it had been that morning. And I got so tense. It was like all of a sudden my like physics, chemistry, and biology classes, as well as my knowledge of like energy, had overlapped. And I was able to witness like, oh my God, that thought dropped into my awareness and my body responded to it. My body responded to it, which means my body is following the direction of that thought. Thoughts are energy. So it's literally instructing and informing my body how to be. Okay, so if I've been having that thought of I'm in so much pain, I hate my life, 200 times a day, And it was like happening so much that I had already been in pain when it came in, so I didn't even notice this response of it, right? I had to create that space and awareness so I could actually notice the difference. Then when it came back in, it was such a stark difference that I was like, oh my gosh, if that is repeatedly happening throughout the day, that's what my body's constantly getting a barrage of, right? It's constantly responding to that. So it was in that moment that I said, okay, if my body's responding that way to that thought, then my body will respond differently to different thoughts. And with my bio background, I was like, if the thought is affecting my body in that way, where my body tenses up and it's putting so much pressure on these nerves, and it's like, that means blood flow is decreased, which means healing isn't happening at the rate it could. It is affecting my breathing, which is affecting oxygen levels, which is affecting other things. Also, then neurotransmitters and hormones would be effective and all that jazz. And it would just basically, I like saw all this at once, everything that was happening. And then also on a genetic level of stress methylation on the DNA chain silencing different expression, right? So I said, okay, we're going to address this. I relaxed my body as much as possible. And then I noticed the thoughts coming up, and I said, okay, well, if those are my auto-suggested thoughts, then I need to change the auto-suggestion. So I'm going to repeat and relax, repeat the thoughts as much as possible, and relax my body deeply. So I repeated the thoughts of my body's always been perfect and everything's amazing and I love my life. Because I noticed that when I said, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed, it still brought awareness of the car accident and other injuries I'd had. So instead, I said, okay, well, there's a version of me whose body's always been perfect. What is she thinking? The one that was never injured, what is she thinking? She's thinking, my body's always been perfect. I love my life. Everything's amazing and I love my life. So that's what I repeated. I eliminated the problem of thinking of the trauma by removing it from the equation. It didn't have to be there, right? My cells know exactly what to do. It already has the information in all the memory, right? I just had to give it the correct instructions of how to run. So I helped it as much as possible, relax as much as possible. If I was affirming a bunch and then I noticed like stress and tension in my body and exhaustion, I would rest. I would be silent. I would just observe. That's when it finally clicked for me. Was it super subtle? Was what super subtle? In terms of the thoughts coming in, it was really obvious in that initial one of like, I relaxed my body so much that when the thought of I hate my life and I'm in so much pain came in, since I hadn't actually been in so much pain in that moment, I had a rare moment of not being in so much pain that I noticed a hell of a lot when the thought came. It floated in and down, and I felt like my body and like everything tightened in response to it. So it was really, really obvious in that sense. But if you have been in a constant flow of thought, because it's happening so consistently, it's kind of like if you've ever like drank anything or smoked anything, or, you know, like the first one you notice a lot more. And then at a certain point, you stop noticing it as much, right? Because your body gets like more used to it and it's already in that state. So the thought, right? You create that space and then you start changing it. And also because of my background with like neuroscience and everything, I said, okay, how am I going to increase neuroplasticity? You increase neuroplasticity by increasing joy and pleasure. So I invented the joy meditation, which by the way, is one of the more recent episodes I put up on my podcast. So if you want to do the joy meditation the way I guided myself in that way, I highly recommend it. Because at that point I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to feel joy. Like, how am I going to do that? I'd been in pain for so long, I couldn't imagine it. So I had to go on a little exploration and excavation. But what I did was I used consciousness to tune into it and bring it through. Thank you for explaining your click. That was so helpful. Good example of reverse engineering. Yeah. Yes, it is. I'm healing my back too. They had me diagnosed with Scheuermann's disease as a kid. Painful. Well, while I am sorry to hear that, at the same time, you get to be perfect and have your healthy body. So you get to do it now. It's like, I stopped working in the medical field because it felt morally reprehensible to me to perpetuate treating symptoms when it wasn't addressing the underlying issue. Because I'd been on medication for years and years and years to take the level of pain down, but it didn't fix the underlying stuff, right? Because they were going at it like a physical, like the body is separate from the mind kind of thing, but I'm formed of consciousness. So I had to discover that myself. I used to be a medical writer, so I would take the scientific data from various studies on medications, and I would put it into lay terms so that doctors could understand it enough to explain it to their patients. So I'm very familiar with biological mechanisms and everything, which saved my life, right? If I hadn't had that awareness, I wouldn't have been able to when the thought dropped in and I suddenly understood the physics and chemistry and biology that was happening in response to the energy. I was like, oh my gosh, right? And the effect on the brain, which affects the whole system, because it's all one. You're all one moving part, just like different components. But when people put it into separate systems, like your cardiovascular system and your respiratory system and all this, they're not affecting each other. Anyway, that's my little tangent on that. Is it fine to go on dates but still manifest SP to be obsessed? I don't know the limitations. There are no limitations except the ones that you put on it. What I would say for anyone manifesting a specific person or anything really, money, focus on yourself. Increase your self-concept. It's the shortcut to everything because it's your basis of who you are. When you know that you are loved, valued, cherished, chosen as a baseline, then you have more ability to, you're just naturally walking in that. You know what I mean? If you're obsessing over another person and not putting focus on yourself, that's a huge flag of where your energy and attention is going. You're putting it outwards. You're putting it over there instead of feeding yourself. Stories are so inspiring. Oh, I'm so glad that you are getting something from it. You can work the medical industry and be a beacon of light and teach them things. I don't want to. I don't want to. I would have to play by rules that I would prefer not to play by. Other people that can be other people's things, but I would rather be here speaking and teaching and sharing. I created the Healthy State program off of the exact things that I did that shifted myself, right? How I taught myself to be. You assume that your dog is already perfect. You don't heal someone. You're not taking them from injured to healed. You're dropping the story that they're injured and you're assuming healed. They're perfect. Their body knows exactly what to do. Stop interrupting it by saying, oh, they're still healing. They're still healing. They're still healing. Oh, they're getting re-injured. Oh, they're getting worse. Why are you even looking at that story? That's a whole separate story from they're healed and perfect. This conglomeration and fuckery over here is an entirely different story than this. Do you get that? Do you see that separation, that difference? Stop playing in this story and thinking that this is what the objective truth is. Drop it. Stop telling it. Drop it. Like a dog. Drop it. What's in your mouth? By your faith you are healed. Jesus, you don't heal them, you believe they are healed. Yeah, because they are. They're already whole and complete and perfect. Just like with my body, I was my body's always been perfect, right? Even though there was a logic of well, you were in a car accident and you had all this stuff in your spine and your nerves and all this, and it's yeah, but that's my body knows exactly what to do because I am consciousness. So why would I keep telling that story? Oh, I have so much to heal from. I stayed in that for 4 years out of bullshit, and that's also why I'm here talking the way that I do, and I'm gonna keep getting louder and growing and sharing more. Because I very much care about it. I desire everyone to know that your body is capable of healing and being healthy. in that you are formed with consciousness. So select my body's always been perfect, or select that I healed so quickly, if that helps you. I always heal so quickly. My body is perfect. My body knows exactly what to do, etc. Relax your body very deeply, right? If you're noticing tension in your body, what is that actually? Oh, I'm holding myself tight. Okay, well, let me open up. A thought came up that said blah, blah, blah. Great. Do I choose that to be true? No. Well, it's irrelevant then. My body's always been perfect. And then if there is anything for you to self-develop on, like when I was shifting my body, I noticed I had a pain come up here that was zinging me. And so I decided to actually breathe into it. And what I witnessed was a memory. What I witnessed was a memory of how I had handled the situation that I wasn't happy about, right? I was being very judgmental of myself. And then when I re-witnessed the memory from a loving perspective, I saw the girl that I had been when I had done that. And I was like, oh my God, that poor baby. She just wanted to be loved. She just wanted to be loved so much. And she was so scared that she behaved in that way. And that doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve love. Like, she deserves so much love. So instead I imagined holding myself and hugging myself. Do you always have to do that? Do you have to excavate and like dig to the bottom? No. I highly recommend that you don't do that. You're going to chase your tail a lot. Like I said, it came up and I witnessed it. You don't have to dig, right? It'll come forward. Yeah, I love that stuff. It's like an opportunity to just love greater. We love loving greater. I was just pausing to be present with a self of mine that I was witnessing from last year. I was like, oh, babe, I love you so much. Let me give you a hug. There's always more love, right? It's a renewable resource, really. It's never going to run out. You're never going to run out of love. You're always going to get to share more. But you know what I love? Okay. There's so many different words for love in ancient Greek. There's philia, which is like a friendship, brotherly love, like Philadelphia, right? There's eros, which is that passionate love. There is storge, which I believe is like devotional love. There's ludus, which is like a lighter, like, I feel like the laughter of ludus is a line I wrote. I wrote a poem about all of them. I can't remember all of it though. I highly recommend that you look at it though, because in English we use one word for love, but there's so many different flavors of it, right? The love that you have for waffles is not the same as the love you have for your child or your dog. The love that you have for your neighbor is not the same as the love that you have for the ocean. And so like differentiating that allows you to witness in your own life all these different areas of love that you have that we might have put into the catch-all of just saying love. I love words so much. I need to review that poem because I'm like, what are all the things? Also, I'm like, I think I pronounced storge right. Who knows? Not me. I didn't take ancient Greek. Not yet, but there's still time. Thank you for the follow, love. Thanks for the appreciation and all that jazz. Hi, Mystical. Yeah. Hi, Ruby. Thanks for the follow, loves. Oh, and thank you guys for tippity tapping and liking and all that jazz. I really appreciate you. You're phenomenal and wonderful and brilliant and beautiful. My energy is so peaceful and you love it. I'm glad. I am glad. Yes. Part of being present with self and pouring into yourself, right, is that you have that peaceful energy. So if money is on a pedestal, I just put me on it instead. Can you zoom out and like, instead of looking at money like it's this thing, like, can you like almost like look down like you're looking at a chessboard? Not like, because the thing is, the reason I'm not using that phrasing with you with the pedestal is because people sometimes misunderstand. They take money off the pedestal, or take a person off the pedestal, they think that means to insult or denigrate it, and it doesn't, right? It just means don't make it your god. Don't make it have power over you. You're the one that directs it. You are actually, since you're the consciousness of all things in this reality, you're the only one that's been directing where it's been going. So you're like, oh, it's all over there with those people and none of it's for me. Okay, if you say so. As you wish, milady. So if you could like look like you're looking at a chessboard and you're like, okay, so this is gonna be here. Hi, Blank. Welcome. And also you ought to be on the pedestal of like knowing like, yes, I am the creator, I'm the selector, I'm gonna steer my ship. Not in a way of like, I'm like so much better than all things. It's like, you are all things, but like, you are phenomenal. You're the best. You're gorgeous and glorious. Everyone loves you and appreciates you. No one is better than you. There is no one that's better than you. You know what I mean? But knowing that no one is better than you doesn't mean that everyone sucks. Those are different things. Today I'm feeling very human, but I still know I have what I desire and it's okay despite the sadness. Yeah. You still get what you want. I posted something the other day where it's like, you feel sad and you still get what you want. Moving the chess piece money in my bank account. Yeah, make the horsey move in an L shape. For L for lots of money. I was on the chess team in high school for, I think, at least the first year. And it was just funny because the captain at the time, like, we were getting interviewed by like the school TV show. And the captain said, he's like, yeah, the pony moves in an L shape. So that's like a sound bit that's just in my head. And I say it to people, but they don't know that I actually know how to play chess. So that like I say that and then they're just like, but it's an inside joke for me with myself of like, yeah, the pony moves in an L shape. I know that the pony moves in an L shape. Wouldn't sadness dissipate if desires were materialized? Well, being the consciousness of all things, you get to witness different things. So I think it's important to, and this is like described well in other languages as well. I was just talking about ancient Greek, but in different like romantic root languages, that was a weird way to phrase it. In different languages, like you would say, sadness is upon me. So it's like sadness is just moving through the field and you're witnessing it versus saying, I am sad and claiming it as an identity state. Sadness is visiting. Sadness is moving through today. Okay, cool. Usually, when you look at sad, if sadness could speak right now, what would sadness say, right? Last time I was experiencing sadness, I looked at it, and what it said to me was, I don't have it yet. Okay, so that's what sadness was feeling. I don't have it. So then that helped me actually just like come to awareness and shift into, oh, okay, well, sadness can feel sadness about not having it, but I have it. You know what I mean? Thoughts on reality working like a dream. What you are exposed to is what you'll see repeating. If you've ever lucid dreamed, you know, like how exactly like reality it is, where it's just like, no, actually this. No, actually this. I was talking yesterday about like how of like when I wake up in dreams and stuff, because I'll notice something and I'll be like, oh, this is a dream, and it kind of feels like In the Bad Place, or The Good Place. That's the show where that part where it's like, oh, this is the bad place. Oh, this is a dream. What also with like honestly with sadness, like what is it? It's like I look at it like since I don't know, some of you guys know, I look at the structure of words. So it's sadness, and the S is like the spine, so it's the energy moving through your body. And then for me it says like so the energy is all down. It's like getting like pulled to one singular spot. So then what you would do is like, okay, if you're feeling down, rest, recharge, give yourself energy, and then you will be back up. So just like if you're feeling sadness, like likely you got pulled into some sort of story, rest a bunch, shift whatever you can shift, and then just like kind of even setting the intention of like, I'm going to feel so much better in an hour, or I'm going to feel so much better like tomorrow, or whatever you want, really. It doesn't really matter. I don't understand how I brought things into my life so seamlessly / unconsciously, but consciously feels like a different beast because you're overthinking it, right? It was just automatic it was just a product of what you were assuming. It was just a product of what you were consciously aware of. If you were like, wow, I never get anything I want, then that's how you would experience life. But now that you're doing it intentionally, you're like, wait, actually, I do get what I want. I've always gotten what I want. Even when I was saying I don't get what I want, it's what I was selecting to experience. Therefore, I've always gotten what I want. I had a thought pop up. What if today's my old identity just dies and I step into the new? Do whatever you want. For me, I think that's like kind of overcomplicated. It's more of like, for me, I've not experienced an old identity dying. It's more of just like I've shifted to the new one and it's seamless. I think that a lot of people insert a lot of drama where there doesn't need to be it. What's even funnier is I saw the solar eclipse is supposed to help that. It's all just you. So I take care of myself rather than panic or seeking a solution. No, it doesn't matter. It was still funny that it came to me. Well, this P just called me. I'm still in shock. I was always affirming I'm unforgettable and I'm always chosen. Congrats, babe. Yeah, I think it's always funny whenever I focus on myself. If I notice anything being like slow or not shifting the way I desire, I put the focus on myself, and then things shift really freaking fast. You know what I mean? Thank you guys for tapping the screen and sharing and all that jazz. I usually have a straw. I don't have a straw today, so I just went to grab it. I was like, I don't want a straw today. And then little me is like forgetting that. And see that, to tie this all together, habit, right? Habit. Reach for a straw even though there was no straw today. It's okay if you reach for an old thought and then remember, wait, no, this is who I am now. Exactly. Like when I chose to focus on myself, they all came crawling back. I love it. I love how consciousness works, right? Put a focus on myself. I'm loved, valued, cherished, chosen, and then things pop up in my reality that show me that. Look how loved, valued, cherished, chosen you are. Look how wonderful everything's going for you. Look how beautiful and perfect you are. Hi, Angel. It do be like that. I had in March, I was like very much focusing on myself concept. I mean, I am again right now, but like in March, I was really going in on it. And I had a week where I had 5 previous connections reach out to me. And I thought it was funny because, like, it wasn't something I intended for. I was just so magnetic that everyone was thinking about me. Other SP, I broke no contact today with sarcasm and confidence. Well, congrats, babe. If we work on our self-concept, how do we ensure that right SP comes in? Don't assume that the wrong one comes. Like, okay, who cares if, like, other people like, message you as well? You're gonna choose the one that you desire. You know what I mean? It's okay for your, like, some people are like, the wrong one came in. No, they didn't. It's just you're so magnetic that it's all coming in. So why wouldn't you just persist in it and know that you also receive from exactly who and what you want, right? It's very silly when people do that. That's like if someone's manifesting like $5,000 and they receive 200 and they're like, well, I only got 200. So keep going, bitch. What the fuck? Like, when did you give up and decide, oh, well, I only got, I'm gonna kick you politely in the booty. Can I see someone who only saw me once? I think he wanted to, you decide. He's not thinking. You're selecting the reality that you're in. In that reality, then they will have the thoughts of that thing that reflects it, but it's not independent of you. So if you're like, I'm in the reality where this is who I am and this is how people think of me and this is whatever, then that's what you experience, right? Because the character of them that already has those thoughts exists, the character that's having other thoughts exists, and you're steering internally. You're steering your ship internally. If you work on self-concept, everyone will come in and you'll choose which one you want. Yeah. And I want to say that, like, I want to define what work on self-concept means because a lot of people misconstrue it. It just means tell the story of who you are and stay in it. Whatever way that it makes it easy. I made the ultimate self-concept reset and I fucking love it, right? So do what works for you. That works for me. It's working for other people. Love yourself. Theoretically, dreams would be an extension of consciousness and possibly just another reality or version. It's not even theoretical. That just is. It's all consciousness. It's like, it's all consciousness. And since we're all one and it's all you/me, then all those lives, every life ever lived is the consciousness that you are, but not differentiated into the specific character that you're being right now, you know? So it's so funny when people are like, oh my God, I was this in a past life. And I'm like, you're all lives everywhere simultaneously. But the reason you perceived of that past, or rather parallel life, is because it was resonant with you in some way. So instead of over-identifying with that and being like, I was burned as the witch, be like, okay, what is the commonality in the story? What's the meaning I made? I made the meaning that, like, men can't be trusted or that people won't stand up for me. Okay, cool. So that's why you're being shown that. So resolve that in your consciousness right the fuck now and decide that you're always loved, valued, cherished, chosen, protected, safe, etc. What made you resonant with it? A lot of people don't look at that, but you ought to. They were like, oh my God, I was Cleopatra in a past life. Okay, and what does that mean to you? Why is it resonant with you? It's reminding me of how powerful I am. Great. So what's the most powerful version of you in this life right now doing and acting like? How are you showing up? Are you doing that? Can you do it more? Self-concept is up. My photographer gave me an extra hour because I was so pretty. I love that. I love that too when you work on like self-concept, when you choose your self-concept and then you like start getting more free things. Yeah. I've been getting a lot of free things lately. I mean, I always do, but even more so, again, because I'm like really fueling myself currently. He found your TikTok and watches your videos too. Yeah, because he's so fucking into you. Duh. And you're like, but I think he only wants to see me once. No, not even you thinks that. Some bullshit thought popped up and you said, I'm going to agree to that to torment myself. I'm an infinite creator being. Let me give myself some limitations and hurt my own feelings. Ugh. Very cute. If you're done with it now, though, we have other stories to tell. Play a game called Hurt My Own Feelings. It's like, oh my god, I hurt my feelings with the thoughts I had in my head. That's kind of also why it's like, I don't agree with the whole like, oh, this person broke my heart. I'm like, you broke your heart using another person's face. You broke your heart using imagery of a face that doesn't look like yours. This person broke my heart. You gave them the hammer. Ooh, that's good. I know. I'm like really good. Thank you for the heart, baby. The more I think about what all of this is, the more I realize it's just about being. Yes, it is. It's always about being. It's always about being. Thank you for reposting, and thank you guys for tapping the screen. It very much sends it out to more peoples. Then the people get to hear my beautiful brilliance. I'm gonna put this one up on the YouTubes later. Like, I wonder if our ancestors, etc., had anxiety, or did we evolve into that? Well, infinite iterations, right? So there were iterations that did and iterations that didn't. When I, like, sometimes when I have a feeling or an energy come up, thank you, I will ask to be shown the origin point of it in consciousness. And I saw, like, for a fear or something, I saw, like, an ancestor, or not even an ancestor, because they died, right? But I saw some, like, a being that, like, got trapped in a mud pit, and they died there. And so I felt that fear and anxiety of being, like, in tune with oneself before expiring. So, that, like, psychic quake, do you know what I mean? Like, the resonance of it, that's what that was resonant with. Again, just like with the past life thing, like, not making it like, oh my god, that's like whatever, right? So that was me at one point in time, but that's what that fear was resonant with, was like literally being like trapped in mud. It's so freeing to know you are everything and reality is you, so you don't have to try to change. It is. So glad I discovered you and Olivia Grace. Are you two gonna collab again? Probably. I mean, it's likely. I can't imagine us not collabing again. I just don't know, like, when in particular that would be. We collabed. We did 2 lives last month together. And then we did one together in June, so maybe in the fall. I don't really know. We love each other and we're friends and we talk throughout the week, so whenever it happens, it'll happen. It could be even like a spur of the moment thing. Like, if she happened to pop into the live or something, I would probably like be like, hey, you want to hop on? But yeah. Oh, good. I discovered her through you. I'm so glad. I love her. She's so fun. Yeah, I love sharing the story about how, like, she popped up into my awareness in, like, January. Like, I found her on YouTube. I don't know if I'd seen stuff of hers before. Oh my god, you know what's so funny? Hold on, wait. I don't know. No, okay. So, like, when I was listening to her YouTube videos in January, I was like, I feel like we're friends. And so I was like, well, I'm just hanging out with my friend Olivia, right? And I kind of said that in an offhanded way. And then like she popped back up onto my feed in May on TikTok, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love her. And I was like, I want to be friends with her. And then I noticed that every time I have that desire come up, I'm like, wait, I want it because it's true. We're already friends. So I said, okay, we're friends. Obviously she's going to follow me and message me, and we're going to be friends. And then that night I was on a live, and she hopped into my live, she followed me, and then when I got off the live, she had been like, hey, do you want to collab? And it's that easy. It's that easy to just be like, oh, well, duh, I want to be friends because we're friends. That's a very fast SP manifestation, right? It wasn't something I obsessed about. It wasn't something I contradicted myself about and was like, well, we can't possibly be friends. Even if the thought popped up of like, what if she doesn't like me? It's like, of course she fucking loves me. I'm phenomenal. I discovered you through her. I love that, Lauren. I love that. I'm fully screenshotting these to send to her. Someone commented on a YouTube video this morning and was like, you guys are dynamite together. When are you going to collab again? But anyway, like that's just like one of my favorite, a fast, like specific person, not romantic. A lot of people, because of all the stories about romance in our society, make romantic connections the end all be all. You don't need to. But just remember, everyone is a person, and you could select like, oh yeah, we're friends. Oh yeah, we're together. Oh yeah, we're coworkers. Oh yeah, we're lovers. Oh yeah, we're whatever it is. You know what I mean? Just applied for my dream job. I love that. I love that you did that. Congrats on your new job. Congrats. Need to select some new friends. You already got them. What I like to do for friends is like tune in and be like, okay, what, overhear the conversation. What are we talking about? Like, how do I feel in my body around these friends? What am I thinking about? And what are we talking about? So you overhear, like, you talking about, I don't know, quantum physics or like the nature of reality. Like, whatever you like. Or about artistic stuff, right? Making music. Those are the things I think about. Look at this. Look at me getting lipstick all over my teeth. I usually wear matte stuff, but I've been wearing a non-matte lately just because I wanted more like hydration. Oh well. And a consequence of that, someone's going to be like, why don't you just select reality where that's not? Quiet. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I will when I want to. Those are the same things I think about. Exactly. So overhear it. Know that it's done. I usually like to, like Babe Ruth calling a shot. I like to be like, all right, cool. I'm going to meet them sometime this week. And I'll feel that and know it is done. And then I'll go about my life. And invariably, I'll run into someone. That's how I made like one of my friends that I was like, oh, I just want a friend who like I can talk about this and that with. And then I made that friend like later that week. I've done, actually, I can't even say that it happened one time. It's happened like upwards of 20 times at this point. And that's the thing when you're selecting a reality consistently. It's like you do it all the freaking time. You have a desire come up, you say like, cool, then I have it. And then you can flesh it out a little bit about like, you know, what are we saying? What are we conversing about? I'm going to include those questions in the little packet I'm making of like manifesting. The one I'm like, the questions I'm putting out are the writing relationships, but this also applies to friendships. Because I have no in-person friends I can talk about this stuff with. Going to change that. I love manifesting people. I went on a road trip with a friend of mine many years ago, and I just would always set the intention in the mornings. I'd be like, having the most magical day ever, having the most magical conversations with people. And she walked up to me and said, like, I love that no matter where we are, I will leave you alone for 20 minutes and then walk up to you again, and you will be the same level of deep in conversation with someone about like the nature of consciousness in the universe. And I'm just like, I just am who I am. She's like, how do you just always meet magical people? And I'm like, well, because I say that everyone in my field is magical. What if you're not good at it yet, selecting your reality? Practice and choose the identity that you are, because right now you're selecting that you're not good at it, and you don't realize that in you selecting that you're not good at it, that is you being good at it. You're so good at it that you can think that you're not good at it and experience not being good at it. You've been good at it since day one, so observe how, and you can even show me all the times I've selected my reality, whether I meant to or not. Utilize consciousness, witness a little clip show, and then observe in your body. How was I feeling? What was I thinking? How natural was that? Oh, okay, well then I just apply that to whatever I want. Why do bigger desires take longer / feel more convoluted? Because we make it so. Because you make it so. So if you want it to be different, then stop making it bigger than you. Because a small thing, you're like, oh, I can just have that. But a thing that's bigger, you're making it bigger than you. It's not bigger than you. It is you. You are it. Make yourself bigger. Remember that you're bigger than it, and it comes to you with ease. I always have been thinking that desires, who wants us, and a magnet are intuition, so that's why it's ours. Sorry, I need to reread that. Okay. I think what this is saying is that essentially desires are magnetized to us, and we receive them because they're already ours. Is that correct? But anyway, yeah, you are it. You're resonant with it. You can't receive something. You can't tune into a radio station you're not tuned into. Of course, wires crossing, but whatever. Let's keep this as a pure analogy of just like you're tuned into 95.5 and you want 104.9, right? Or you're tuned into 95.5, you're going to receive the songs that are on 95.5. So if you're there and a thought comes in and people are like, what about intrusive thoughts? Am I resonant with that? What you're resonant with is probably like the fear, right? Because that's why you even care about it. Someone who's like not attached to that fear, it's not going to stick around. It's going to go. It's going to float right through. So don't like make yourself a thought. Don't define yourself by thought. Don't say that like, oh, this thought is telling me who I am. It's not. You're just saying like, what is it resonant with in your system, right? Hi, Heart Talk, baby. Oh yeah, my pleasure. I love coaching. I have so much fun, like, reminding everyone what we are capable of. And it's because it changed my life. It's because I went from in pain and stressed out all the time and having panic attacks and anxious and depressed to being physically fit and loving my life. Did I move locations? You hear different species now. Where are the birds? LOL. That's a very good question. I don't know where the birds are right now. I did not move locations. I think that maybe they're just, I just heard one and fly to another. They're probably just somewhere else right now. Another person's yard, maybe, flying around, going on a little trip. Maybe they're prepping to migrate. Who knows? But yeah, also it's a little later, I think, than usually I would be here right now. But yeah, I hear the little crickets. Are they crickets or grasshoppers? I'll find out. I'm always used to hearing them on your morning lives. I know, I love my birdies. I love my beautiful birds. I love birds. I didn't realize how much I loved birds until like pretty recently. Because I think I always took it for granted of like, oh yeah, birds are beautiful. I love them. But like I never really thought about it until these lives, honestly, because just being present with all the bird song. And then it's so fun listening back to them and like hearing the birds singing. Yeah. Hi, Andrea. Those are cicadas, I think. Summer sounds. I don't think they're cicadas, because the cicadas that were out last year sounded very different. You know, the cicadas sound like a lot freaking louder. A lot louder. And also there's a more persistent rhythm to them, like more of a persistent buzz to them, rather than just the little rubbing together action that's going on. At least that's my perspective. That's my theory. To manifest, would you say it's enough to visualize, affirm, and believe in it? So manifestation, to manifest, what is to manifest, right? You're experiencing the manifestation of your consciousness. So what is consciousness? Consciousness is what you're aware of. So how are you aware of something? Well, you hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, feel it. So anything that you're utilizing as far as your senses of awareness is experiencing the manifestation of that in consciousness. And then it's a matter of you accepting that it's done, accept that it's a fact, and live your life. So yes, it is enough to do those things. And it's also whatever you say it is. So if you assume that you always receive the most wonderful things, whether or not you even think about it, then you're going to experience that. If you assume that you have to do a lot of work, then you're going to experience that. Trying to take logic out of manifesting a new home with more land privacy. So you're already in your perfect home, perfect land, perfect size, perfect price. When you're walking, your feet are hitting the ground and you're like walking on the ground there. You already live there. It's already yours. You called to it, it called to you, and you're living there. Everything fell into place perfectly. I love manifesting homes for myself and for other people. It's so fun. I love homes. I love living. This is a good live. I'm very happy with it. I'm going to get off soon. I've been on for an hour and 7 minutes at this point. Is it okay if I manifest sometimes in present and sometimes in past? It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. It's all consciousness. So it's whatever you feel it is. I would just say the one thing is don't make it harder for yourself by saying you're doing it wrong, right? Don't assume you're doing it wrong. Don't look for ways where you're not doing it right. Don't make up stories about how hard it is. Don't be your op. Stop putting yourself in opposition to what you desire. Because the thing is, resist means to stand against. The resistance is not separate from you. So it's you standing against yourself. You're standing in the way of saying like, no, I can't have this yet. I feel resistance, meaning I'm resisting letting myself feel this thing. Okay. Do you have an awareness as to why? Can you talk a bit more about self-concept work? Okay, so your self-concept is what concept do you have of yourself? What do you believe to be true about yourself? What do you think is true of you? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are, babe? How do you think your world interacts with you? What do you think you receive? What do you think you're capable of? So then self-concept work, working on it, I don't love the whole, like, you're making it more work than it is. What it really is choosing how you desire your life to be, what you desire to be true about you, how you desire to experience life, and then stating it. Really, like, you know, being like, okay, well then I am this. When you recognize that you are all things all at once and you get to just select, then you get to be like, I am beautiful. And then you get to experience the unfolding and witnessing of that. So self-concept work is like, you select your story and then you stay in it. The reason I like the affirmation tapes for that is because they, like, the way, like, they just drop me in, and then throughout my day it'll pop up as an auto suggestion, and I'll get to like enjoy that, like, oh yeah, that's and then people reflect it to me, and it's just really fast and easy for me. Do what works for you though, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, who do you prefer to be? And you can look, if you are looking outside yourself and looking at someone being like, well, they have this and I don't have that, they're just you. So that's just indicating to you that you desire to have that thing. So then you get to recognize you do have that thing and you are that thing. It's just information about like what you're actually desiring, who you're desiring to be, right? And then you tell that story and you stay in it and you experience it. Self-concept work, the work is the recognition you already have and are it, and then you keep telling that story and experience it. You don't stop telling that story and tell a different story, right? You're just like, oh, I am this, and you're consistent. You are it. How do you manifest multiple things at once? You're always manifesting multiple things at once because you're experiencing like your story around it, right? So it's like, oh, I have so much money. I'm in the best relationship of my life. My garden is growing effortlessly, right? Or if like you're in a current state of like you have no money, you're not in a good relationship, and everything sucks, then that is the manifestation of the consciousness you're being. It's just showing you who you are. It's showing you who you've been believing yourself to be. So then when you remember that you're actually all things in consciousness, you get to wake up in the story saying, wait, I have this and I am this and it's here. I feel very emotionally attached to one of my desires. I don't know if that's making it any easier on me. You decide. Are you emotionally attached to it because it's yours and you have it and you love it? And being emotionally attached to your boyfriend is great. Being like, wow, we're in love and we're perfect. Staking your entire identity on an external thing though, not the money. Not it. So basically what you think of yourself will become reality. Yes, because what you are consciously aware of is what you are witnessing and experiencing. You get that. You cannot witness something you are not conscious of. To be conscious of the thing, to be able to see it and perceive of it and make a statement about it, that's what your consciousness is of in that moment. A statement, state mentality, state of mind, statement, what I speak is stating. So if you're like, this is a disaster, that's just telling you where you're coming from, who you're being, what you're conscious of. Someone else could look at the same thing and see like, that's a blessing or that's a really good thing. Yeah, my pleasure. All right, my loves, I'm gonna get going. You're all wonderful, phenomenal, and brilliant. Check out the Ultimate Self-Concept Reset. It is gold. There's also podcast EPs and YT and one-on-ones if you're desiring to go deeper and really hone in. So have a beautiful day. You're brilliant.